Hello and welcome to our webinar. My name is Geert Frans. I'm the product manager at Chili Publish, and I would like to tell you more about our brand new product, Chili Rendro. But before I do that, maybe let me give you a quick overview of who we are, what companies, who do we sell to, and then I'll go more into detail about our product. So we are a Belgian-based company. Headquarters are in Aalst, about 20-minute drive from Brussels, and that's where we have HQ, as I already mentioned, R&D, pre-sale support, and marketing. Since 2 years, we also have an office in New York, which is primarily targeted at support and pre-sales. And since last year, we also have representation in Singapore. And that is mainly focused on growing our market share in Asia and Asia Pacific. Now, you may ask who our customers are. Well, I'm not going to tell you any names, but I would like to show you how we look at customers and how we look at them from three different angles. First angle is the market itself. So clearly we are in the printing industry. We sell to both packaging as well as commercial printers, but also to newspapers and printers that are more targeted at advertising, both in the B2B as well as in the B2C market. Another way of looking at our customers is by trying to organize them by type, and then clearly printers is a major part of that, but also agencies, web developers, former prepress companies, and until even brand owners that are purchasing directly and integrating it into their internal workflows. And a third way of looking at it is from a sales strategy point. We sell to integrators. We deal with OEM partners, solution providers in general. Chili Publish has two products: Chili Publisher, our online document editor, and our brand new Chili Rendro, which is an online PDF and 3D viewing SDK. And that's the product I would like to tell you more about. So what is exactly Chili Rendro? Well, it's an online PDF and 3D viewing SDK, as I already mentioned. So an SDK means it's software development kit. It will allow you to integrate this into any solution that we'd like to build online, and then display PDF files correctly in that solution. So one is the high-end viewer, the other one is a streamer component, and a third module we have is a 3D visualization of PDF. Now, schematically, how does Rendro look like, or how do you position it? Well, it all, of course, starts with a PDF file that you would like to show to someone via a web browser. More importantly, on the canvas of an HTML5 compatible web browser. So the PDF file can be locally, can also be somewhere in the cloud, can be fed from a database, and via the viewer on top of the SDK that allows you to present that PDF file to your end user. Streamer component is there so that only the parts that are necessary for the users to see are actually sent to the local client, let me call it. So, for example, if you have a PDF file of 500 pages or 1,000 pages, a catalog, let's say, and you would only need to see page 200, then that streamer will then allow you to only send the information for page 200 and not the complete PDF first, in order to then show page 200. It also comes with an optional 3D model that is based upon the technology we have from Chili Publisher, allowing you to create a folding 3D folding module, or make use of a Collada file to have a full 3D model capability, which you can then use to display your PDF on top of that one, and then again show that on the canvas of an HTML5 web browser. Now, before I show you a demonstration. Very importantly, the main difference we have compared to other solutions on the market is the way we display files, the way we render PDF files correctly according to the PDF standard. And for that, I'm like to switch to my desktop and show you one of the files of the Ghent workgroup. So if I ask my computer to show me a preview of this PDF file, then you'll see on the left side a small image reference here. This is actually the way the middle part will look like. On the right side is another reference showing me the wrong example. So the idea of this PDF file is that when it's opened in a PDF reader, the center part, which will be interpreted by the reader itself, should look like the left and not like the right side. Now, what you see here is clearly wrong, and that's just using the preview capabilities of the Finder from Macintosh. Now, if I would open this file in a web browser, Chrome for example, then also here we see that PDF is rendered, but it's not rendered correctly. So we clearly have a problem here. If you want to do, for example, an online approval solution, this might give you some problems in that respect, that the end user is not seeing the PDF file correctly. So they might get the wrong impression, although the file is technically correct. They most likely not approve it because it's not rendered correctly on the canvas element. And that is why we came with Chili Rendro. And as I told you already, it's an SDK. It means that the user interface you write around it, or the application in which you integrate it, is your own development. So that's what we've done here as well. We've created our own development around our own SDK in order for you to see and so that we can demonstrate something. And I'm going to open the exact same file as I did before. So here with the overprint. And now we're seeing this file correctly. So the inner part is interpreted, it's the PDF, it's read by our reader and then shown on the canvas, and clearly it matches the reference, the correct reference image on the left side. To prove you that we are really doing that, I can actually turn off the overprinting here, and then we'll see the inner part changing to the wrong reference. So without overprint, without simulation of overprint, you see the white background. With the simulation, you see the correct image. Now, talking about an approval solution, for a lot of printers, when they need approval on a PDF file, they actually deal with a two-step process. It means one process creates a low-res PDF file, which is then sent to the customer via email, WeTransfer, Dropbox, all sorts of solutions. And that PDF file is only showing the trim box. So it doesn't have any of the technical specifications that we would need when we would go to print, because the end user only wants to see the final result, and we'll approve that one. Now, often there's also a watermark on it, and it's a low resolution file to prevent the customer actually from taking that PDF file and quickly going somewhere else where you can have that printed. That also means you have a second process that will allow you, or that in which you will create a high resolution PDF file that will then be used for production, which means it will have bleed, it will have crop marks, and so on. Now, wouldn't it be a lot easier if you could just use one process? Meaning you have one file, which is your production file, that has all the information you need. So it has the trim box, it also has the bleed box, it also has crop marks on it, and it is shown in the browser. So by default, you're showing the high-res PDF file to your customer. So when he approves it, he actually approves the correct file. But as I mentioned before, you don't want to bother the customer with crop marks, with bleed, and so on. So very easily in Chili Publisher, sorry, in Chili Rendro, you can limit what the end user is seeing from this high resolution PDF file to only the trim box. So in your solution, what you could do is you can easily, based upon whoever is logging in, show a PDF file completely different than to another person. And in this case, only limiting it to render the trim box. Now, there's a lot more you can do with our SDK and the JavaScript API, because you have access to a lot of the components, a lot of the objects within the PDF file itself. So for example, I'm taking here an X4 file, and while it's rendering, to show you that we already know a lot about this file, in the document properties, my standards, we actually see that it is a PDF X4, and the output intent is a 439 ICC profile. But I told you that there's a lot more that we can do. For example, of course, you have the separations, which you can toggle on and off, but more intelligently, you can actually create a solution or an application around it that will allow you to simulate the ink limit. So let's say I want to see everything which is above 150%. And there we go. Instantaneously, you see the areas highlighted or marked in green. Now this is, of course, part of the integration, part of the solution which is created around it. You ask information from the PDF file, and then on a second canvas on top of the PDF file, you draw the new information. So you see, even if I want to do 267, there we go, exactly, and the image is shown the way it's read out of the PDF file. Now, while we're doing this reviewing, some of you might immediately think about annotations. Well, annotations is something we're still working on, but it actually, and I'm going to open a file from my desktop now, also that is possible. The integration here runs locally also on my within my web browser, so I can just take a PDF file and open it within my web browser here and get that rendered correctly. And there we go. Just to show you what will be possible with annotations. First of all, they are detected, and then by hovering over it, you can actually draw the information of the annotation on top of that one. And then the next thing, it's not there yet, but we're going to work on that one, allowing you to save annotations in a PDF file as well. Now that we're talking about different possibilities, different use cases for Chili Rendro, there's another one I would like to show you, which is a comparison tool. It could also be used to quickly create something that will allow two PDF files to be compared and then shown the differences in different ways to the end user or to the customer. So the solution we've created here, on the left side you have one file, in the middle side you select your second file, and in the third part, the third column, when I click on show differences, the differences between these two are actually shown here. Now by default we've allowed them, or we set them that they're toggled, but you could create something that allows the user to select some of the comparison options and highlighting it in a different color, flashing it like that. And you see even the smallest here, that's where my mouse pointer is, there's a point which is not on this one, it is on this one. So also those things are noticed here and are displayed like that. You have the text here, so what is different here? Well, there is a comma there which is no longer there, so that's why these are slightly moved, because there's one character less. And then of course, most obviously, you have that star in the background. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation that we also have an optional module, 3D. So let me give you an idea how that looks like. So I'm going to open a PDF file. And for this one, we've also created, it's integrated in this case, a collada model. This will be a standalone part that will allow you to import a collada file and then prepare the 3D model object or create a 3D model, which you can use then with Rendro. And then you can take the PDF file that the customer has uploaded and display that on top of the 3D module. So that's what we have here. If I say I launch my viewer, then we will put this PDF file on the 3D module and give you a 3D preview of that one. So there we are. So it's a bag of chips, potato chips, and now see that in 3D. You also notice here the design effects of the 3D or the new effects in 3D that we have for Chili Publisher. Also, those will become available in the 3D part of Chili Rendro, of course. So it's a simulation of a metal foil in this case here. Now, I've shown you how Chili Publisher, how Chili Rendro runs on my desktop computer in a web browser, HTML5 that supports the canvas element. Now, what will it look like if we do this on a tablet, let's say on an iPad? Well, to show you that one, I've actually created a movie screen capture of an iPad, and I will actually show you this this movie here. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll have a look at how by default that same PDF file from the game workgroup is shown in Apple Mail, for example, here. So again, the center part is the one that is rendered by the application, which you need to compare to the left or the right image. And when you open it in Chrome on your Apple iPad, then also there it is wrong. Using one of the native applications from Apple, the iBooks, also in there, PDF is not rendered according to the PDF specification. And then last but not least, the Acrobat app, the Reader app on the iPad. Also surprisingly there, the overprint is not taken into account. Now, let's do the same thing, this time using Rendro, also on the iPad. So in essence, what we need to do is we don't need an application. We just go to the web browser, we go to the page, we select that same file here, and then open that in Chili Rendro. And also here you see toggling the simulation for the overprint results like that. Now, what is the price for Chili Rendro? Well, for the SDK, which includes the viewer and the streamer, you would pay 6,000 euros. On top of that, there's a 20% maintenance fee on a yearly basis, and that will give you access to 3 different URLs, so you can integrate it into 3 different URLs, and you have access, or you are allowed to have 3 concurrent users. The optional 3D module will cost you 4,000 euro, and of course, you can also purchase additional users or additional URLs when needed. Before we move on actually to the Q&A session, I would like to point you to our white paper, which you can find online on our website. So if you go to chilipublish.com, under Rendro, if you click down, but also you could just use this URL, Rendro white paper, just fill in your name, last name, and then you can download the white paper about the use of PDF online, and then of course Chili Rendro. So this is what I wanted to tell you. I'm going to quickly switch to my GoToMeeting and see if you might have some questions for me, and if you do, now's the time to shoot the question, I mean. All right, one of the questions is, let me read that one. When will Chili Rendro be available? So our commercial release is foreseen for January 2017. We'll have a beta program starting in Q4 of this year, so 2016. With a release candidate normally towards the end of 2016, so we can go live in January 2017. Another question, what is the advantage of the streamer? Well, Chili Rendro actually extracts the raw data from the PDF file, which is then translated via JavaScript into information that can be represented on any station. Any station, I mean mobile device, desktop computer, via the streaming technique. So it means that we don't need to parse the complete PDF. We can only pass the information that is needed or that is requested for. So in essence, it just comes down to processing the data that is needed at the time that we need to visualize it on the canvas. So as I mentioned already before, if you only need to see page 530 of those 2000 page PDF file, then via the streamer technology, you can always send that specific page to the user. And benefit of that one, specifically if you're talking about mobile devices, is that you don't need to parse the complete PDF in order to send that specific page via the streaming technology. You can immediately do that and send that specific page. Okay. I don't see any, hang on, there's another one. And that is if I can just... Have you got an option for more concurrent users? Yes, we do. You can purchase additional concurrent users or additional URLs. That depends on the need, of course, that you have. You have some people that have a lot of different websites but don't have that many visitors. And then again, you have the other ones that have some websites but a lot of visitors, a lot of concurrent users. So indeed, that is an option. You can purchase additional users and additional URLs. And if I'm not mistaken, URL is €500 and an additional user is €750.